These are the doors to the wine cellar of our 1700s manor house in Switzerland. And this is no ordinary wine cellar. It's for sure the biggest domestic wine cellar I've ever seen. It is truly a wow moment, and so I want to give that to you as well. But first, let's talk about wine. I'm not a true wine connoisseur, I'll be honest with you, but I am a connoisseur of the beautiful wine regions of Switzerland. There are vineyards and wine regions in several different areas of the country, often near mountains and lakes, just absolutely stunning landscapes. So I went and visited our neighborhood wine region to give you a little taste. So I'm walking now in one of the nearby wine regions. It's quite close to the house. It's the end of winter right now, so the vines are dormant. Also, it was a bit cloudy and quite windy, but still just a beautiful area. If you're in America or really any country outside of Switzerland, you might be wondering to yourself, why don't I see Swiss wine in the store? Well, Switzerland does not export its wine. It consumes all of the wine that it produces domestically. It's another piece of the self-sufficient Swiss economy, highly self-sufficient anyway, which is how they like it. And of course they do import wine from their neighboring countries like Italy and France and many other places as well, but they are very proud of their own wine culture and their own wines. Now, the other thing to know is that there are cellars, underground cellars, all over Switzerland as well. It's extremely common to have doors, not unlike these, that open up to the stairs that go under the building and were usually used for storage, maybe wine, but often other things as well, goods and whatever storage was needed by the people in the building above. You can still see these cellars in many of the old cities of Switzerland, particularly the Zähringer cities like Bern and Biel, Morten, Freiburg, etc. A lot of these cellars have been turned into restaurants or bars or hairdressers or little boutique shops, and it's really neat to have the experience and go down and see what different businesses have chosen to do with their cellar space. Even our favorite karaoke bar. Seeing what some of these cellars have been turned into gives us some potential ideas of what we might be able to do with ours. However, there are a couple of big differences. First of all, ours is not in a main traffic area. This is a residential area. And secondly, it's huge. It's actually much wider and taller than most of the cellars that you see in the central old villages. There are two ways to get into the wine cellar currently. These would have been the primary entrance into the cellar when the house was originally built. In fact, they would have been the only entrance, and I'll show you why in a minute. To open up the double doors and come down the stairs down into the cellar. However, I can't actually open these doors right now because there's a porta potty in front of them at the moment. So we will have to go in and enter from the inside. We're heading around to go through the house and down into the basement. If you want to see the rest of the manor house, check out the other videos on the channel. You'll find a full tour of the house. You'll see some of the historic things we've uncovered so far during the demolition and renovation, and much more. Once we get down in the basement, we head into this room, and you'll notice the small door along the back. It's a very cool old door. However, it was clearly not part of the original structure of the house. You can tell that the stones have been removed and that this door was put into place probably sometime in the 1800s. I'm not sure why it's so short, but everyone has to duck in order to get through this door and not hit their heads.
Ow.
Once we come through here, we're now in that outcropping that you could see from the outside. Here are the double doors, and if you look carefully, you can tell that the stairs coming down the full width from the double doors are original, whereas the smaller width stairs that come from that little door from inside the basement were clearly added later. My guess is that when that interior door was added, it's likely that some wooden stairs were put here, with the cement stairs added later. Then we come down here to another set of double doors. We use one of the biggest skeleton keys that we received for the property to open this door to the wine cellar. The first impression is the sheer size of this space. The cellar measures 12 meters deep and 7 meters wide. That's around 84 square meters. Comparatively, that's 40 feet by 23 feet, which is over 900 square feet. It holds over 2,500 bottles of wine. 2,544 to be exact, at least by my count. When we first saw this space, the previous owners had it full. There was a bottle of wine in nearly every slot, with overflowing bottles on top and in cases stacked on the floor. So much wine. Because it's completely underground, it holds a nice, cool, consistent temperature throughout the year with no heat management systems. So we've been monitoring the stats in the wine cellar here with this little guy. It tells us the temperature and the humidity specifically, and unfortunately the humidity has been a little bit high, particularly we think partially because of the blocked ventilation. We noticed some patina, it's called, along the edges of the wine holders when we first visited, which can be a sign of high humidity. Somewhere along the way, most of the vents that go up and to the outside from the wine cellar have been plugged. They are designed to allow for some airflow. However, they've been blocked and filled in, causing stagnant air, high humidity, and other issues. So that is going to be one of our first projects. Because you can see that at one point, plants, the ivy and stuff, grew down in
Grew
here.
down into it. Yeah, I'm really curious as to where that goes.
It also became clear that the wine holders were added later as well. You can tell that the stone walls and structure of the cellar are much older than these cemented wine bottle holders. We don't know for sure when these were added, although it could have been as late as the 1970s. In talking with the Historical Preservation Organization representative that came through, he was fascinated by its size and structure and thought that the original owner or builder of the property was probably a merchant of some kind, and that this was a place to store his goods to bring to market, possibly grain or other perishable items. These huge hooks in the ceiling are an interesting clue. Maybe they were used for some sort of pulley system or mechanism to move the material that was in this space. So there's the question of the history of the space and how it was used originally, and also the question of how it should be used now. One of our ideas is to partner with one of our local vineyards or maybe a restaurant to actually store their wine and maybe even to host some small events in the space. We're working on a few things to get this in shape, and then let me know what you think we should do with it. The wine cellar is just one of the cool historic features of this manor house, and I hope you'll check out some of my other videos to see what else it has in store and all the work that we're doing on it so that we can move in here. Subscribe and follow along to see what happens next on our manor house project.